Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Season 3 of Midday with Trey. I'm your host, Trey. Let's get right into the show. Today's guest is a senior digital culture and design major from California, Maryland. Let's give it up for Sophia Lawson. Come on, Trey. Yeah! Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Could you just tell the audience a little bit about your story before you got to Coastal?
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia Lawson. As Trey said, I'm originally from California, Maryland. I originally came to Coastal for the DCD program because someone from Coastal came to my high school and told me all about the DCD program where I can learn all about social media and visual storytelling.
Okay, cool. And growing up, did you always like content creation or did you always like creating things?
Yes, I was always a very creative child. I would make the iMovie movie trailers with all my friends, the Video Star music videos. I loved watching YouTube, and it was always kind of like my dream to be a content creator and just create videos mainly on YouTube when I was younger, but now with the rise of Instagram and TikTok, that is where I've geared most of my focus with the content creation.
Right, okay. And so for those out there who don't know, what do you define digital culture and design as?
I would define digital culture and design as a very broad program, but you could channel the courses you take to fit more of your niche, whether you want to do game design, geography focus, and like digital mapping sort of thing. But I chose to do the more social media focus with some of the courses I took, such as taking the DCD social media course.
Perfect. And does that pair well with your minor is marketing, right?
Yep, my minor is actually marketing, and I added the new social media minor this semester as well.
And those all pair nicely, it seems like, yeah. Okay, and so you're at Coastal. What are your first 2 years like here? What's your experience?
My first 2 years were COVID because I came in 2020, so that was interesting and a good learning experience with everything starting on Zoom and then sort of transitioning to go back in person, and the restrictions lifting a little bit once COVID sort of figured everything out with that. But I got to take a lot of great classes and just learn a bunch of different things through the core classes, as well as getting to experience joining different clubs, attending the beach a lot, which was a really great thing, especially during Zoom classes. We could always go to the beach during the day, which was probably the main thing I spent my time doing freshman and sophomore year, was going to the beach, yeah.
So what are you involved in? What are the clubs and organizations that you're involved with here at Coastal?
Well, the main thing that takes up the most of my time is I work for the Office of University Marketing and Communication, helping run the university social media channels. So I help create content for CCU Chanticleers on Instagram, the Facebook, Twitter, or X page, who knows, and LinkedIn. So that's the main thing that I spend my time on campus doing.
Right, and that's such a cool opportunity. What was the application process like for that position?
Well, I didn't necessarily have to apply because one of my professors recommended me to my supervisor, Jordan, and then Jordan reached out to me over email. I then emailed her my resume. We met on Zoom it was a very informal interview, I would say, and we just meshed really well together, and then I was able to start working for them last September.
Perfect. And what type of content do you like to create, or do you like to create for the university when you're working?
My favorite type of content to create, I love doing the reels. Those are always super fun, especially the more hype style reels of just showcasing the fun events that Coastal offers to students, what the student experience is like at football games. I did get to attend the football game a couple weeks ago and got to create content in the student section, film a reel, and just get photos and go on the field. So that was a really cool experience, just to create content in such a high energy environment, and it was very, very chaotic, but also a lot of fun.
Okay. And what, when you're out creating the content, is there a certain mindset that you have? Like, do you have, if you're at a football game, for instance, do you say, I'm going to capture this, this, and this? Or do you kind of just go with the flow and see what the day brings you or what the content brings you?
A mix of both. I usually come up with a game plan ahead of time, so I know what, like a shot list if I'm going to be filming a reel, just so I know the clips that I need to get, so I make sure I have everything beforehand, just because it is so chaotic and everything is going on that it can be a little overwhelming. And I usually come up with all the captions that I want to use, so I have those on a note on my phone that I can easily just copy and paste them so they're all good to go. And I'll just have a handful of ideas for photos that I want to take, because those are a little bit easier. Just get a good mix of people having fun at tailgates or in the student section, things like that.
And where do you, like, after, this is your senior year, so do you have any idea of what direction you want to go for as far as like career-wise, work-wise?
After I graduate, I'm going to work on applying for jobs, probably in social media management, content creation again, because that is my passion. I specifically would like to work in more of the fashion, beauty, lifestyle industry, because those are the industries that interest me the most, and the things that I like to do in my free time is do makeup, do my nails. So that would be fun to, when I'm like creating content at events or whatever, I get to attend events that I have more of an interest in than, say, like football games, because I'm not the biggest football fan. But. Okay.
All good. And so final question, what advice do you have for either students or viewers out there who may be struggling to even get a foot in the door? You obviously have a huge foot in the door, working with Jordan in the marketing communication. What advice would you give to people who just want to get started?
The biggest advice is just start. I know it's kind of cliche, but early on in my coastal career, I was very discouraged, and I felt like I would be applying for so many internships and jobs like that, and I wouldn't ever hear back, or I would just get rejected. So that was a little bit discouraging, but I just start small. I was always in high school, I would like freelance for my mom's friends and help manage their social medias. I worked with a photographer, the lady who did my senior photos. I helped do her social media, and then a Mary Kay consultant. And then when I came to Coastal, I used to work as the digital media and marketing assistant for career services, and then I eventually worked my way up and worked hard in my classes. That was the main thing, because one of my professors actually recommended me. So I would recommend just start out posting your own content, building your portfolio. Even if you don't have the experience, kind of make the experience and just make content, because anyone can kind of do it from wherever, and just network with your professors.
All right, it's that time again. Time for this week's Makeup Palette of the Week.
All right. So I collect makeup palettes, so I chose my friend's makeup palette because it is more of a collector's item and has a lot of fun colors in it. So this is what the inside looks like. I love this palette because it correlates to the Friends show, which I'm a huge fan of, as I'm sure a lot of you are. And the names correlate to episodes and things related to the show, as well as some of the colors.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Midday with Trey. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you follow all of our social media pages, and I hope to see you again. Same time, same place. Bye.